Hey guys, welcome at Limited Cars. We've been visiting Limited Cars today to test and film the VW Beetle RSI. And Limited Cars is specialized in, well, limited cars. What's in a name? As you can see, they have two Clio V6s right now. There is another VW Beetle RSI inside, and there's one here. And well, we just finished recording with the RSI and I absolutely love it. It's totally crazy how cool this thing is. The recipe of both cars is kind of the same. They're both these you know, not very cool base cars. The VW Beetle, I mean, is a terrible shopping car, and this Clio, well, it's a good car but not all that special. But they made these wide body supercar kits for both these cars and they are instant classics. And let's not forget, they both have a gorgeous V6. Okay, I'm going to drive the Clio right now and tell you something about it. This is the key of a Clio V6, you know, it's just of a normal Clio. It looks like a €100 car key. So this car is made by Renault Sport and you have the 3-liter V6. It has a mid-engine setup, so it's right between the two axles. You know, you have the engine right here, and come on, this looks super special. You have the air intake of the engine here with this cool side blade, you know. It's a bit like the previous Audi R8 model. It also has this vent. And here you can see how much wider the Renault Sport Clio V6 is when compared to the normal Clio. And when you get in, well, it's a bit disappointing because this isn't any more special than a Clio RS. Let's turn this down. You know, it's not very special, especially when you just drove in the Beetle RSI, which is super special on the inside. It has quite a heavy clutch and the gear lever is very light, so that's a weird combination. It's also very long, the throw of the gear, and it's been about 3 years since I last drove a Clio V6, and it's all coming back now, how special it is to drive one. This is the phase 1 Clio V6, which is known for its trickiness, you know. When it starts sliding, this of course is a rear-wheel drive car. When it's gone, it's gone. You're not going to get a cool drift out of this car. You're only gonna get a crash, that's it. Last time I drove a Clio V6, it was basically the same as this one, same kind of mileage, same kind of the conditions and build. And it was 13,000 euros, and that's about 2.5 years ago. And now this one is 40,000 euros, so it has tripled in value, which is insane. You know, talking about good investments, forget houses, forget gold or oil, you want Clio V6s. Okay, the engine is warm. I got rid of my jacket, so I'm a bit snugger in the Renault Sport seats. And let's see what it's like to drive a classic. From the time that you could fit a big V6 in a very, very small car. Lovely days. So as I said, the phase 1 can be a bit tricky to drive. It can be a bit twitchy. They got rid of that in the phase 2. The phase 2 is also a bit different in terms of looks. Let me show you the turning circle of this beast, because they wanted direct steering and they got it, which means that if you have to turn, you need 5 minutes and you need an empty parking lot to do it, because you need so much space. Yeah, I'm going to get on the left lane. Oh my god, this is just dangerous to turn this car, man. But as soon as you're on the road again, it just doesn't matter, because I have a V6 here. Here it is, my V6 instead of the rear seats. This is just amazing. Man, anything was possible in the early zeros. You could build anything, and I love it. It's so cool to drive cars from that era. I think it was the pinnacle of automotive development for sports cars. The sound, listen how sharp and crisp the sound is. It's amazing. You know, the suspension, this is a super sport car. It's a bit loose actually, it's a bit soft. But it's entertaining, you know, it kind of dances around you with its big heavy V6 in the middle. No, I'm not going to drift. As I said, drifts end in death with this car. Ow, that hurt a little. I'm sorry. Ooh. I hope the Clio V6 community won't hunt me down. Man, listen to that engine just purr. Oh, absolutely amazing. It's really hard to comprehend and explain how special this car is. This is unlike anything else. If you're an American, this is what a super special European car is. It's not the Ferraris, it's not the Lamborghinis, it's this kind of stuff. Small, nimble cars which steer and handle like crazy, and just a big engine in it, a massive engine. And it all started with the Renault 5 Turbo. If you haven't seen it, Google it. It's this insane looking machine. You know, it looks like a hot hatch that was designed by a 5-year-old. With it's wider than it's long, massive intakes, massive wheels. And this was inspired by that Renault 5 Turbo. And it's such a shame that cars like this And it's such a shame that cars like this Clio V6 and the incredible Beetle RSI aren't made anymore. Why can't we have like a Volkswagen Polo with the 5-cylinder from the TTRS? That would be awesome. Make it rear-wheel drive, you know. Come on, show us some balls. Renault had the balls, Volkswagen had the balls in the early zeros, but nowadays it all needs to be safe and sellable. And yeah, of course, the practicality of this car means that there weren't a lot sold, but it also strengthens the position of a future classic, because you know, rare things get collectibles in time. So special when you drive this. It's so much more special than driving a stock out of the factory Ferrari or Lamborghini. This was made by hand by the hardcore members of the Renault Sport company, which are crazy people who just want to make the ultimate sports car, the ultimate hot hatch, and they really did. This isn't about power, this is about a crazy experience. You know, a modern hot hatch is much faster than this, even though this is a rear-wheel drive mid-engine setup. But how could you want a modern hot hatch instead of this? Listen to the mechanics, listen to that gearbox, listen to that exhaust, listen to the engine. They are all amazing. They are all ancient, outdated, and beautiful. And you know, everyone can appreciate this car. I see little boys like those two guys over there. They don't know what they're seeing because they've never seen it before. It was before their time, but when they look at it, they know it's special. And then they hear this V6 and they're like, what is that? They only, you know, they're used to hot hatches with 4-cylinder turbos, so they're used to vacuum cleaners, and they haven't heard this kind of engine before. You know, just an old V6 rumbling around. Man, I'm starting to get a bit romantic because of this, and because I drove the Beetle RSI just a few hours ago. They are just the pinnacles of their era. I really think so. They really are like pieces of art, both the RSI and this Clio V6. And I really hope that people start appreciating these cars, start buying them, start driving them. So this car is now 40,000 euros. It seems like a lot of money for an old car which is very impractical, which has done some miles, and for that money you can also buy a new super fast, super practical, super economical hot hatch. But I just know you will not have the driving experience of this car in a new car. You just won't. So if you're interested in these kind of cars, pay a visit to Limited Cars in Heerenveen, the Netherlands. It's an amazing company built by a true petrolhead who is just as much in love with these cars as I am. Thanks for watching. There will be a POV review of the Beetle RSI as well. That one's done by Max. So I hope you enjoyed this review of the Clio V6, and I hope you will enjoy the POV review by Max of the Beetle RSI, which is just as crazy as this one, just in a different manner. Okay, thank you, bye.